we just want a full-on financer,
Okay.
and we'll figure it out. Dude, you're moving and you're
Yeah,
tripping me out,
I
Josh.
don't know. I'm trying to figure out how to stop that. There's a toggle. I'm sorry.
I can deal with Freddie, but you, I don't know.
Hey, all right. Welcome, everybody, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages. Master Evil has allowed us to have quite a treat today. We are interviewing an icon in the horror industry, especially in my eyes, Mr. Ira Heiden. He was one of the stars of Nightmare on Elm Street 3, the Dream Warriors. He was also in, and kind of was one of the main stars in Elvira, Mistress of the Dark.
Always got someplace else to hang around.
We heard you might need a little help fixing up the place.
That's very thoughtful, but why don't you come back when the light's better? Good night.
You blew it!
Did you see those gazongas?
Some. I got it!
All right!
All right!
And there was actually a recent documentary that came out on the making and production of that film in 2018. So if you haven't seen it, be on the lookout for that. And Mr. Ira has a brand new role in the huge box office, sure to be box office bonanza, Ghostbusters Afterlife. Josh and I want to thank Ira for coming to the show.
Yes, thank you so much. This is awesome.
Absolutely. You guys are great. Thank you.
You blew my mind coming on. This is awesome. Can't wait to have some fun, ask some questions, and see if you can't save us from Master Evil. So
I will do my best.
first off, you've probably been asked 100 times, but we got to know, how did you end up in The Dream Warriors, the most iconic Freddy movie ever made?
Okay, so cut to me in high school. I loved Dungeons and Dragons. That was me. I was the kid, library, whenever school is out, playing Dungeons and Dragons. And so that was a lot of fun. Then I moved to Los Angeles after I graduated high school in Tampa, Florida, and lived out here with my mom and started auditioning for roles. And I landed a Pepsi commercial for the movies, which never got released, but it was with Johnny Depp, Sherilyn Finn, Brooke McCarter, and my best friend at the time, Harold Pruitt. A lot of good people. So got that going. That got me into the Screen Actors Guild. And then I auditioned for other roles. And I was put on tape. No, first I had to meet Annette Benson. My manager said, "We got this movie. I want you to come in for it." I was like, "Okay, great." So I met with her first to make sure that I would be okay to do the audition. Then they put me on tape. Then I went back and met with Chuck. Then I came back and met with some of the other actors and Chuck. And then I think I had like 5 callbacks. And then I finally found out that I got the job.
5 callbacks must have been intense, because every time you go back, you're like, well, this is the one this is going to be the make or break one for me, probably every time, huh?
I remember it as if it was yesterday, driving my car down Beverly Boulevard, parking near Robertson, walking up to New Line Cinema. And I had the same ritual. So I would always try to park in the same place and walk the same way. And then one of the auditions, though, I was helping reading for other roles. Like I got to play Joey, which was fun. But yeah, it was intense, and it worked out for me. And here we are.
I got to tell you, you got gypped just a little bit. I narrated Nightmare on Elm Street 3, The Dream Warriors novelization, and it's kind of based on the earlier script that Wes Craven had a hand in. And your character in that book, whenever he's doing the Wizard Master stuff, actually gets to turn into a dragon and have a dragon versus dragon battle with Freddy in the Nightmare world before Freddy turns him into a mouse and pretty much ends that fight. But there was a time when you would have been a dragon. I mean, you were already the coolest character in the movie for me, because I was a Dungeons and Dragons fiend my whole life. I even watched the old cartoon, where the creepy dungeon master guy kidnapped the kids and took them to the fantasy world. But yeah, you would have been a dragon, man. I mean, I wish I could have seen that version. Did you know about that?
I did not know about that. So you have enlightened the Wizard Master to new and different things. No, I had no idea. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's badass. I mean, you already had the most badass fight with Freddy. I mean, outside of part 4, when that guy fights him, and they were so low on budget that there was no Freddy in the scene at all, and it's just
Rick. When Rick fights him in
Yes.
Dream Master, and they're like, let's just hang some sheets on the wall and play some Chinese music in the background and throw a glove in the air or whatever. They put it on like a camera and just rigged it from that perspective. Hey, Ira, I wanted to say something really quick since we were talking about your fight scene with, Robert. When I grew up, I was overweight as a kid. I actually have recently lost like 150 pounds, and I wasn't like the most popular person, but I wouldn't say I was unpopular, but I definitely played, board games. I played role-playing games. We did everything. We had a really good imagination. But one thing your character did for me that I never forgot was when you were battling Freddy and you're on the ground and you slam your hands on the ground and you're like, God damn it, like I'm the Wizard Master. Thing that like all great athletes do. Like Kobe Bryant would do a lot of self-talk. You'd have to believe in yourself. Michael Jordan, did it. And I kind of took a little bit from your performance in my actual life, and I still use it. Like when I'm feeling like crap and I don't want to run that day, it's like, no, I'm a beast. I'm going to do that. Yeah, a lot of self-talk, and I just wanted to thank you for that.
Hey, that's cool. Look, one of the coolest things about that movie is, each of us had our own powers, and we had to believe in who we were, and how we all came together to band against the demon. It's kind of like a way of life, how you got to get through. And if it means calling some friends, if you had a shitty ass day, calling some friends to cheer you up, or, going out and grabbing a cup of coffee, whatever it is that helps you get through that demon. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And one thing I also really appreciated about your character in that scene was, I think in the history of Nightmare on Elm Street, until that point, your character, I know Kincaid was supposed to be the badass Kinsegos, but when you're confronted with Robert Englund and Freddy and you have nowhere else to go, you just immediately run towards the battle. Like you were basically David running towards Goliath, and you're like, I'm facing his head on. I'm bringing the fight straight to him. Nobody else had done that, at least to my knowledge.
What was I thinking?
I don't know. Okay, you had just got the wizard hands, and you're like, you know what? I'm going to see if these work better than I, intended.
He rolled a critical failure. That's what happened.
I just obviously felt it, and instead of going, I'm getting out of here.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I'm going to come after you.
And Robert Englund's face when you get your powers and you recognize that, like, okay, I'm the real deal right now. His face, that little, like, shit, right. Like, I kind of have an equal here for a moment, is pretty priceless.
It was the greatest one. I mean, the tongue in cheek, sorry, kid, I don't believe in fairy tales.
Yeah.
I mean, he was just a classic in this movie.
He was. This
prime,
is where he really
prime Freddy.
What, Freddy?
For sure.
He's prime. I mean, before the MTV Freddy of like Dream Master, where almost everything was a one-liner.
Prime Freddy for real.
This was peak Freddy for sure.
when I was a kid, I used to go and
Oh.
rent movies at the video store. And I probably wore out the local rental tape of Dream Warriors. And that's why it just blew my mind that I got you on the show, because you were my favorite character. Because I don't mean this as an insult. I was a bit geeky growing up. I got picked on a lot, and nobody took me seriously. And your character was like a kind of a hero for me in that one. And I used to have this thing when I was real little, because I did watch scary movies when I was little. But I would always hope the movie would play out differently every time I watched it, you know? And I was always hoping that scene would play out differently, you know, that the Wizard Master would just annihilate Freddy. That was always my goal. But yeah, I've got some good memories there, and I appreciate that. I really do. You left a mark.
Also, something that Chuck Russell had said that when they were editing it, he said they should have never have killed me. So it's going to piss a lot of people off. Oh, well.
Well, one thing about your character in that movie that I also noticed was you're leading the D&D game in the hospital room. You're actually helping both of your roommates by taking their mind off of things by playing a board game. You guys are having fun. So you're helping out in that way. But you're also the one at the window. Your character is the one at the window who's like, okay, I'm busting this freaking window out with this lunch pail immediately, and I'm going to try to help my other friend. So it was weird. It was almost like you were the strongest character without ever having to say that you were the strongest character. Like mentally, you were definitely the leader of that group for sure.
For sure.
Yeah. And it's so funny, you know, you picture maybe a kid in a wheelchair is a little feeble and a little, you know, not all the way with it. But, you know, I felt like I had such a fun job with this character. Had such a great time getting to bring him to life. It was bringing myself to life, if that makes any sense.
We did an amazing job with it, and share a little anecdote with you. First off, I'm kind of glad that they didn't keep your character alive, and hold on a second for that, because you had a badass scene with Freddy with your death scene. You really did, and I feel like if they had kept you alive, they would have done to you what they did to the other survivors at the beginning of part 4, and just, you know, killed you off in the worst possible way. But your character really was heroic compared to the other ones in his death. He didn't back down like a lot of people probably thought he would. But a little anecdote I wanted to share with you from that same novelization, because Alex brought up how your character was like banging on the window, going to break the window to, you know, wake the friend up. In the book, there's no puppeteering, none of that stuff's in there. And it's like Freddy is just bored that day or just too busy to do anything. He just drags him down the hallway and throws him in front of the van. That's it. Just takes him out of bed, drags him down the hallway.
Your Uber's here, bitch.
And now you can see why we have rewrites.
Exactly.
What the hell? He's all, your taxi's here, bitch. Get out.
Get out of here.
The meter's running. You better get out there.
Oh man.
So what was it like on the set?
Oh man, it was really cool. You know, we a week before we started filming, we all met in Westwood and did our read through the script, which was a lot of fun. And Chuck recorded it at his friend's house, and he can't find that recording. That would be so great to have. But on set, it was awesome. I mean, that was really the first movie I had ever done. So I was like a kid in a candy store. I mean, everything was brand new to me. And just taking it all in, it was amazing. And I feel like I made friends for life from that movie, because we still keep in touch. Rodney Eastman, Bradley Gregg, Jennifer Rubin, Heather Lagenkamp. We see Robert time to time at conventions, Ken Sagos, Penelope Sudrow, Brooke Bundy. I mean, everybody. I've really kept in touch with them all. It was a special time. And
awesome.
From day one, just working on the set, really was creepy. There were two places that I worked. One was at the VA hospital in Westwood. We had this one room that was old and like they hadn't used this area in like 20 years. So there were cobwebs in the hallways and it was really trippy. And we did night shoots there. And then the other place was in a warehouse downtown across from the county jail, which was scary enough as it was. And we had our own dressing rooms there, and we could draw in our rooms and stuff. So it was a lot of fun, man. Super excited and proud of that movie.
I know, Ira, that you guys were and still are a really close cast, because I follow you on Twitter, and then I follow some of your other cast members on Twitter and Instagram. And you guys had all gotten together like 2 years ago at the Whiskey A Go-Go, and you did a live read-through of the Dream Warriors, like live, right?
Correct, Alex.
Yeah.
I put that all together with the help of Heather Lagenkamp producing and Matt Murray producing.
Wow.
Matt used to work for Stan Lee.
That's amazing.
Super great guy. And how I met him, he recognized me at a Sharky's Mexican restaurant and said, "You're the Dream Man. You're the Dream Warrior." And we kept in touch and exchanged numbers, and he's an absolutely great guy. So Heather, I came to her and approached her about, we should put this together and we should raise money for mental health awareness. It's what our movie's about. We can do this. It'd be great. And she was fully on board and talked Robert into being Freddy. And
wow.
We grabbed as much of the cast as we could. We couldn't get Patricia. She was in Europe, unfortunately. Lawrence Fishburne, I don't know where he was at the time, but we had a lot of the good members of the cast there. And I had known this guy, Jason, who worked at the Whiskey A Go-Go. And I was like, Jason, can we just like borrow your place and, we'll pay whatever. And it's just to do that. He's like, for sure, man. Absolutely. So we did. And we had it on a Sunday, and we raised like $16,000 that went to the Dee Dee Hirsch Foundation.
That sort of thing right there, Josh, is why horror people who star and produce and make horror movies, and people that watch and love the content of just that genre, they're more understanding. They're better people. I think that is amazing that you used a film that's supposed to scare the hell out of people, first turned it around for such good. That is unreal.
To raise it, and it was incredible in the sense that one of my friends is Robbie Krieger from The Doors, who used to play at the Whiskey all the time. So he donated a guitar that he signed, and we got almost $5,000 for that.
Wow, and Robbie, didn't Robbie do the music for the Brandon Lee movie that you're producing right now?
Yeah, it wasn't Jason; it was Jake Perry who had the hookup at the Whiskey A Go-Go.
Wow.
Ira,
I spoke to, so the guy who played Coach Schneider in Freddy's Revenge, I think he filled in for somebody at the Whiskey for you.
Yeah.
He was also the dad in Stand By Me. He was Will Wheaton's father.
Yeah.
And we follow each other on Twitter. I actually spoke to him. Sure. And I made like a smart ass comment. I said something like, "Well, you're not raking vegetables in this at the Go-Go like you were in Stand By Me or something." And he's like, "Alex, if I had a dime for every time someone," because he in the movie he looks like he's just raking dirt,
right?
And he kind of went into Coach Schneider mode and was gonna make me do push-ups on Twitter. It was like right after you guys did the performance, though. I gave him shit like it was like and he was quick too. Like he wrote me back in like 3 seconds. It was hilarious.
Excuse me. We had a couple of great actors that filled in. Bill Allen played a couple of roles. And Keyshawn Giles, a great actor who I met on a Snickers commercial, who's also a big Dream Warriors fan. He got to play Kincaid. Jennifer and Ken were at a convention in Minnesota, and there was no way that they could make it back in time to do it. But we had Brooke Thies, who
I bet they would have
played-
loved to do it though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, if we ever get the chance to do it again, sometimes it's once in a lifetime, but if we ever could do it again, it would be great.
Do you know how much money that you got? Like, if the Dream Warriors, like, most of the original cast got together and did an escape room, like down in LA, how much money you guys could raise if you and Heather and a couple of the others like did an escape room and charged, I don't know, $50 to $100 per person? That would blow the doors off whatever venue you were at.
Can you imagine?
No, I want to do it. Let's do it.
We'll be the first two. We'll be the first two there.
Yeah, I want to do it. Let's do it.
So what was it? I know that Robert is just such a kind soul, and such a laid back guy. What was it like being in a scene where he gets to murder you? I've not got to ask this of anybody else, but like, how did he handle those scenes?
Well,
What was it like?
obviously he was a true professional.
Oh yes.
Here I am, my first movie, my first death scene. I'm just really trying to pull the deep acting out of me. This is death and I'm going to die and everything. And I'm focusing. Meanwhile, Robert is sitting next to me telling jokes, cracking jokes. Hey, Ira, did you hear the one about, and telling me about how he just bought a house in Laguna Beach and telling me how he drives down there in his convertible Mustang and he loves it down there. And I'm like, Robert, please, this is great, but you don't tell me this now. I have to focus. This is my death scene, hell with that. He was just really funny. He was cracking jokes, but a total professional when it came down to it, and I don't know if you guys know this. I've talked about it in other interviews, but his glove, the blades were always retractable, but they weren't retracting for my scene for some reason. So they ended up having to put a 2x4.
Oh yeah. Never Sleep Again.
Right.
I think I heard you talk about that.
And thank God he can hit his mark, because
Yeah,
that might have been a real scream.
Like how the heart.
that
Oh,
would have scared. That would have made me nervous because it's like he's talking about his house in Laguna and he's driving down like it's Rad Racer down the, Hollywood Boulevard or whatever in his rag top, and then he's trying to kill me with his actual glove and hit his mark.
Right?
I don't know if I'd trust that, Ira.
Come on. Robert's like one of those actors that is just, he can do whatever he wants, but when the camera's on and rolling, he's a true professional. You know who else is like that? Steve Martin. I got to do a scene with him in Father the Bride, the hot dog bun scenes where he was ripping them open because you can't doing it. Such a quiet, didn't talk much, everything, but as soon as the camera's on, boom, he was right there with me. I mean, just like such a true professional.
And he can
I
play
have
that banjo, man. He can play that banjo.
Yes,
The
he
hell,
can.
yes. Yeah.
I have that in my notes, the Father of the Bride thing, because right around when Showtime on cable was like a free preview, Father of the Bride had just been released. It's like 91-ish, 92 or whatever. Like I have a lot of memories from the early 90s for some reason. And anyway, I remember seeing you in that film, and I like, 10-year-old me, I'm like, holy moly, there's Will. He's working at, he's not dead. He's alive. Okay. He was dreamed into a beautiful dream. He made it.
And he went from the Wizard Master to the Weenie Master.
To the
Yeah.
Hey man, it's better than being dead. There's always something worse, I guess.
Absolutely. Come on. I mean, I've had some fun opportunities and to play some great roles, and to be there with Steve Martin, to be opposite with Elvira, Cassandra Peterson, such a great woman, so much fun on that set. A
lot of respect for her.
Huh?
I got a lot of respect for her.
Yes.
So she's done a lot, and I know your time is short, like you said. I wanted to touch on Ghostbusters Afterlife and your Brandon Lee project, but the last thing I wanted to kind of bring up about Dream Warriors, the Never Sleep Again documentary, which I think is one of the best things ever. Like my wife she's watching it for the first time. We've been watching a little bit every night. I know that was Heather's thing, right? Like she put that together, and
Yeah.
have you seen that, Alex? The Never Sleep Again?
Yeah, I've seen it probably. It's one of my comfort movies. If I'm working on the podcast or doing audio or like just whatever in the office, I have it on in the background.
Yeah,
So I'll be listening to. Yes, I'm that guy.
Yacht Rock
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
in the background.
absolutely. I listened to Ira giving interviews about the 2x4 and the and I also the ordering chop suey with a look in his eye. I remember some of your lines from because one of the kids.
You're so excited. You're so excited.
Ira's the man, dude. I was very excited to hear that Ira. I wanted to ask Ira real quick. What was scarier, Ira? Was working with Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger on the set of Dream Warriors scarier than working with O.J. Simpson on the set of Student Exchange? Which one was scarier?
Come on, take a stab at it.
Oh, well, listen, I have to tell you, it was scarier working with O.J. Simpson.
Okay.
I was a huge football fan. I followed him with the Bills and, when he was with USC. And so I was excited that I got to work with him on that movie and on that Disney project. And lunchtime came around and he was hanging by his Ferrari. And I go, Mr. Simpson, can I take a picture of you by your car? And he said, no.
What? The juice said, the juice really told you no? He
said no.
That's it.
Well, so that's it. Hey, O.J. Simpson, he's on the 86 list for Slash Tracks. He's out.
He's never going to be a guest on the show.
He's blackballed. He's done.
He's never going to be on this interview show ever. It's done. We're
never doing a Naked Gun special. It's over.
Yeah.
Done. So that was a good one. I like that you pulled out Student Exchange.
Oh yeah, no, I'm so Ira, I saw you on. So I was a huge TGIF fan, and I don't know if a lot of the Slashaholics know, but Ira has been in more things than you know, and you remember him from. He was in Step by Step. He was in Family Matters. He was also in Alias. He was in I don't
Family
know
Ties?
Were you in Perfect Strangers? Did you ever do a guest spot on Perfect Strangers? Okay.
No, Family Ties, though.
Family Ties, Alex P. Keaton.
It was called Student Exchange, yes.
I saw Student Exchange. Student Exchange came out when it was like 1987, and it was when Disney was like the wonderful world of Disney, and they'd have like a special movie of the week or whatever. And if you didn't catch it live when it aired the one time, you're not catching it again until they show it again. Because so when you grew up in the 80s, if you didn't own a VCR, boys and girls, you're screwed. So if you didn't see Ira and Student Exchange, you better look for it on YouTube or Amazon or Hulu. Okay,
right.
I'm doing you a favor. Find it
on Family Matters.
Residual.
Absolutely.
On Family Matters, did you have any scenes with Urkel?
I didn't. It was just with one of the coaches.
Okay. I haven't got to see that episode. I apologize. Alex is like got no life, so all he does is watch stuff all the time.
No, it's great. My good buddy Jim Gagan was our writer and producer on that show, and we were hanging out, and he said, "I'm going to get you on the show. I'm going to get you. It'll just be like an under 5." I'm like, "Yeah, I'll do it, of course." So,
I wonder what it was like to be on that show and just have it hijacked. Like you go in for the first season. This is going to be your starring show. This is going to be your vessel. You're going to have your own sitcom, and like a year and a half later. What is Urkel doing tonight?
Hold on, Josh. Hold on. Listen, that Family Matters was originally a spinoff from Perfect Strangers, which it was Harriet's show. Okay, because she was the bellman at the building for Balky and Cousin Larry. She was popular, so they gave her own show for TGIF. Okay, all of a sudden, season 1, Family Matters comes around, and Jaleel White shows up and steals the show. And you're going to try to make Jaleel feel guilty because he knocked it out of the park. I want you to apologize right now.
Key and Peele,
to Jaleel White.
I apologize.
You know that?
Wait, did I do that?
You kind of shamed him. You in a roundabout way, Josh, you shamed Jaleel White.
I'm sorry.
For being a star.
I'm sorry
John,
I shamed you for
Hey, Alex.
Yes.
You guys, don't forget I'm here.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't want you to fight, okay? Because we can all get along here. All right, Jaleel White, what is he doing right now? We're not sure.
All right. Okay. I know what he's not doing. He's not doing Ghostbusters Afterlife, but I know somebody that is. and it's this guy right here, Ira here. So, how did you end up playing one of the most, well, I would say badass, but also one of the cutest characters?
Uh, um, well,
Awesome.
it was just a lot of fun. I seriously asked my buddy who directed the movie. I said I will do anything to be anything, any part, voice stuff, ADR, anything. And so I got to do ADR work. So a lot of the background. Do you guys know what ADR stuff is? ADR.
After
It's ADR work is the people in the background that are walking by. Oh yeah,
Okay.
hey Timmy, how's it going?
okay.
Underscored from the main characters,
Uh-huh.
but they have their own scenes and stuff like that. So it's
Okay.
covering all of those voices. So I also got to play a bunch of ghosts, screaming ghosts and moaning ghosts, and
Oh yeah.
scared children and adults running away from the ghosts. But then the people that were running the session said that the director wanted me to stay. So that was like around 3 o'clock. And that's when I found out that I was going to get to voice some of the mini Stay Puft characters.
So
That's incredible.
So there's a bunch of them up there. There's one that's on the grill that is salivating and sucking it back up. That's me. There's one on the Roomba there. You'll see that's that bumps into Paul Rudd. That's one of those are me. And then there's another guy that's eating a green jelly bean and poops it out. And that's me. Other actresses that are on there also. The one who voices Ash from Pokemon.
okay.
Sarah,
I don't know his name, but he's huge.
She also does one of the mini Stay Puffs, and it was 3.5 to 4 hours of pure fun.
Can we get a tease of just like a mini Puff voice? I love it. I love it.
Just,
I cannot
that's
wait
just
to
a
see
little
this.
bit.
I cannot wait to see this. It's going to be great.
Yeah, it's everybody go this Friday, coming to a theater near you. It's not streaming, only in the movie theaters.
Only in theaters.
Good old fashioned blockbuster event.
Right.
I heard it is nostalgia explosion, and almost 99% of people that have seen it, like critics, are giving it rave reviews. It's going to be great. Be sure to watch it, and be sure to keep an eye out for the star of the movie, Ira here, because in my opinion, Stay Puft has always been the true OG, the true man, and even if he's in miniature form, he's still a badass. So, but yeah, I wanted to end our talk on a more serious note, and we wanted to hear a little bit about this project you got coming up, about your friend Brandon Lee, and the film you're working on.
So, gosh, after Brandon passed, it was about 5 or 6 years, and his best friend, one of my best friends, Bill Allen from Rad, he was the original Crew Jones character. He just had to do something and write something to get his feelings out, and he wrote a great script telling the story about when they were all hanging out back then. And so I thought it was a great script and wanted to get it made, and so we had a couple of readings, and then I had Bill bring it to Lou Diamond Phillips' house, because we're all buddies, and it was Lou's birthday, and Lou said he would read it, and he read it and liked it, but he said he wanted to do his take on it, so he also ended up doing a rewrite. So it's now co-written by those two, and Lou wants to direct it, and our friend Robbie Krieger wrote the title song and did a recording of it already, which is pretty cool. And so we're just we're at the point where we're getting some money. It's at a production company, and we'll see what happens.
Well, we're definitely going to be keeping our eyes out for that. The Crow is literally my wife's favorite movie. When I proposed to her, I did it in crow face paint. We got a set of rings. We got them in the safe right now. We don't want to like mess them up, but it's die cast rings with the quotes and stuff from the Crow. So the loss of Brandon Lee has always been a big thing with her, but I can't imagine someone like yourself that's really new, and
Yeah.
even this. Sorry for your loss. And
thank you. We used to play racquetball together. We used to go out and hang out at bars and go to movies and go camping and mountain bike riding. A lot of good times. Sometimes you get to walk longer with your friends, and sometimes it's a short walk, but you just got to enjoy the times that you have right now and be in the moment always, because you never know what can happen around the corner.
I say that all the time, brother. From the time I was 14 to 24, I don't know why this happened, but I never had like a bunch of acquaintances. I always had like best friends, like brothers, like Alex is to me now. And I lost 4 between the time I was 14 to 24, a couple to accidents, a suicide, and a heart attack. And you expect to lose friends maybe in your 60s or 70s, but you really got to, like you said, appreciate the time you have with your friends and your family and your brothers, your sisters, because there's no guarantee. And I'm so sorry for your loss there, because it sounds like you guys were brothers. And I think he would be really proud of what you're doing.
We had a lot of fun. We joked around a lot, and there was one time where we always played racquetball, and he always kicked the shit out of me, always won, until he went off and did Showdown Little Tokyo, or was it Rapid Fire? It might have been Rapid Fire. He was in Chicago for 3 weeks, and I practiced every day, and I finally beat him. But we would make bets, and whoever lost would have to be that person's servant for one night or whatever. And so he had just started dating Eliza, and I am like sicker than a dog in my apartment on a Friday night. I can't go out. I'm doing nothing. And I get the phone call because I lost the game of racquetball a couple weeks ago. Ira, you are my servant. I need you to come over here now. Brandon, I'm sick. I need you to go to the market. You need to pick up a 6-pack of Anchor Steam and a 12 roll of sushi. No, it wasn't California roll. It was just a mixed roll. Yes, Brandon. Went to the market. I got the stuff. I drove it when he lived up on La Brea in Franklin, and there's Eliza mortified that Brandon made me do this, and I literally almost crawled on my knees. Here you go, master. And then turned around and walked out.
Dude,
that's one thing you do when you make a bet. You have to pay your bets if you lose, or so.
Yeah, I lost a bet. That's why I'm having to do a show with this guy. But it's
fate picked me from obscurity. Thank you so much.
I'm glad that you have such good memories with him, man. That's awesome. I think he would really be proud of what you've done all these years and the project that you're putting together, because I think it's a story that needs to be told.
Yes,
and
for sure.
He was something special. He really was, and I would have loved to have seen what he would have went on to do. And that's always been a big loss for the whole.
Well, whatever, how some people have, they call it charisma, like whatever somebody has, it's like when you meet them, they walk into a room and they just have that like aura about them.
Yeah.
Whatever that is, Brandon Lee had it by the boatload. Like whenever he was on screen, even when he wasn't the star of a film, if he was like a side character, my eyes would go to him immediately for some reason. I don't know why. And that was from day one.
Yeah. I feel blessed. I mean, I got to meet him because of Bill Allen, because they met in a acting class and we all started playing poker. And the first night I met him, he was getting ready to go do Laser Mission, which he was, I think, starring in and the stunt coordinator. And he goes, "Oh, Ira, here, I want you to come at me." I'm like, okay. So everybody's sitting there and he goes, "This is the new scene for my movie." And he says, "Just come at me." And to come at Brandon Lee.
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Right at him. Next thing I know, I am on the ground with a chokehold, and I couldn't breathe for like 2 days. It was horrible. That was
win at Brandon Lee, though. That's you went at him.
If you're going to get choked out, you want to get choked out by the best.
If you're going to do it, might as well have been Brandon, man. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he was, and still is super cool. I think there'll be a documentary out soon, so watch out.
Can't wait.
Yeah, that's going to be great. And,
yes.
It has been an absolute pleasure getting to talk to you. I know you're very busy. Thank you so much. Hero of mine growing up. Definitely a slasher hero for sure. You're going to live on. You're going to live on in infamy, man. The Wizard Master never dies. And, I just really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. Everybody's got to go out and check out Ghostbusters Afterlife. As if I got to tell people to. It's Ghostbusters Afterlife. Get out there. Buy your ticket now.
Dude, there's so many like things that will take you back to the first one. Where Jason Reitman was actually in the first one, in a little cameo, you'll see Jason's daughter in this one. So there's a lot of things that will bring you back and
full circle.
It's amazing.
Alex?
I thank you, Ira, for your time. Seriously, this was a treat. You made my entire year. So thank you so much. I can't wait to see the movie. I can't wait to see the Brandon Lee document. I can't wait to see all of it. So just thank you for my childhood, all the shows, everything. You've entertained me my whole life. Thank you.
Alex, dude, keep up the good work. Don't stop running. And both of you, whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
Well, on that note, can we ask you one small favor?
Yeah, sure.
You know that Master Evil kind of has us kidnapped watching bad movies and stuff.
Right.
Is there any chance that you could like send a rescue party or something like that?
Master Evil. Is there anybody that can you help these guys? No, it's not gonna happen. Sorry, dude.
Master Evil and his damn telepathy. Okay.
He
All
wins.
right. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you, Ira, so much.
You're welcome.
And, everybody. Oh, go ahead.
I said good luck, guys.
Oh, thank you. Everybody be excellent to each other out there. And we'll see you soon.
Because we do not know when we will.
Can't rain all the time.